Section 1. Vehicle Preparation. Apply parking brake. Disconnect negative battery cable. Section 2. Installation prep for amplifier assembly. Remove the amplifier assembly and bracket arm from the box. Using a T25 Torx bit, remove the screw located at the bottom of the assembly and install the bracket arm. Reinstall the screw and tighten. Section 3. Initial vehicle disassembly. Remove trunk area mat and floorboard. Remove tire jack storage tray by removing two 10mm hex bolts located on the tray bottom. Remove driver and passenger side threshold panel. Disengage both ends of the panel before pulling upward. Remove driver and passenger kick panel trim by disengaging snaps and pulling away from position. Loosen driver and passenger side door weather strip by carefully pulling outwards. Remove rear bottom seat cushion. From the driver's side, locate bottom cushion locking tab, pull straight up, and repeat for the passenger side. Remove plastic locking tab located at the bottom of the panel. Open plastic trim cover and remove 10mm hex bolt. Fold down rear seat backrest and reach for the lower rear edge of the panel to disengage snaps. Slip the rear panel through the seat belt to remove. Repeat for opposite side. Section 4. Rear speaker installation. Unplug speaker connector. Unbolt 3 10mm mounting bolts and remove factory speaker. Install OEM Audio Plus 6.5 coaxial speaker. Repeat installation steps for opposite side. Section 5. Subwoofer umbilical cable installation. From the passenger side of the vehicle, run the subwoofer cable from the trunk area to the kick panel area. Once past the rear seat area, run cable under the seat bolt and towards the threshold area. Unfasten white plastic carpet clips and release carpet to expose cable route underneath the carpet. Run cable all the way to the kick panel. Provide 24 inches of cable slack in the kick panel area to accommodate final cable routing to the sub-amp location. Reattach carpet and close clips. Provide 18 inches of cable slack in the trunk area to accommodate final cable routing to the OEM Audio Plus subwoofer. Reinstall the tire jack storage tray. Run the cable through the channel on the bottom side of the tray and exit through the back by the tail light cover. Reinstall the two 10mm hex bolts located on the tray bottom to secure. Section 6. Reassemble rear seat location. Reinstall rear side panels in reverse order. Reinstall driver and passenger side weather strip. Reinstall rear bottom seat cushion. Reinstall trunk area mat and floorboard. Section 7. Quick sync harness installation. Glove box removal. Squeeze sides of glove box and pull down and out in one motion to remove. Locate cabin filter cover. To remove, gently unsnap and pull outward. Radio removal. Lay down protective blanket over climate controls and transmission area. Remove radio trim panel by inserting plastic trim tool to loosen the edge and carefully pry away by hand. Be sure to disconnect the hazard light connector. Using a 10mm socket wrench, remove the 4 10mm bolts holding the radio in place. Once radio is pulled out, disconnect connectors and antenna lead. Remove radio completely. Run passenger side of quick sync harness and connect ground. Enter through the radio cavity and run the harness through the space above the air conditioning unit in the direction of the passenger side kick panel. Run neatly and out of the way, use cable ties as necessary. Locate and remove the 10mm ground bolt located in the passenger side kick panel area. Install the harness ground together with the factory ground. Make sure the harness ground terminal rests on top of the factory ground. Reinstall the 10mm bolt and tighten. Run driver side of the quick sync harness. Enter through the radio cavity and run the harness towards the accelerator pedal. Separate the yellow power wires from the main harness and lay on the floor. Finish routing the quick sync harness by routing it above the accelerator pedal and steering column into the driver side kick panel. Run neatly and out of the way, using cable ties as necessary. Install 6x9 umbilical. Run the 6x9 umbilical cord from the kick panel area to the factory amplifier located under the driver's seat. Unfasten white plastic clips along the threshold area and lift the carpet edge to expose cable route. Run the cable under the carpet and exit under the driver's seat through the opening used by the factory amplifier wiring harness. Remove the factory amplifier cover by removing the 2 plastic locking tabs on the backside. Unplug the 10-pin male connector from the amplifier and connect the 10-pin female connector from the 6x9 umbilical cable. The factory amplifier is bypassed and not used. Reinstall the cover, reattach carpet, and close clips. Section 8. Power wire installation. Under the hood, locate the grommet for the main factory wiring harness on the driver's side of the firewall, directly under the 2 heater hoses. Identify unused nipple and slice the tip off to create an opening for the power wire. Under the dashboard, run entire length through the grommet, avoid interface with accelerator and brake pedals. Under the hood wire routing, install supplied high-temperature corrugated split loom to cover the power wires and insulate against extreme temperature under the hood. Run power wires to the battery by following the direction of the factory wiring harness to the ECU. Continue between the ECU and air filter box and in by the battery. Secure using wire ties as necessary. Installation of the fuse holder. Remove the 10mm bolt from the battery's positive terminal and install the ring terminal of the fuse holder lead. Reinstall the 10mm bolt and tighten. Do not install fuses at this time. Use wire stripper and strip 3/8 of an inch off the end of each power wire. Start with the larger 12-gauge power wire by inserting it into the yellow butt connector and crimp. Insert 14-gauge wire into the blue butt connector and crimp. Then apply heat to the connector to activate the solder and heat shrink insulator for the best connection possible. Secure using wire ties as necessary. Section 9. Amplifier assembly installation. Plug the white and gray 22-pin connectors from the QuickSync harness into their designated location on the DSP amplifier. Plug the black 10-pin connector from the QuickSync harness into its designated location on the sub-amplifier. Plug the 6-pin gray connector from the sub cable into its designated location on the sub-amplifier. Mounting the amplifier assembly. Remove the outward-facing 10mm bolt used on the AC blower unit. Remove the lower side-facing 12mm bolt off the black chassis reinforcement bracket located above the passenger side kick panel. Carefully insert the amplifier assembly through the bottom opening underneath the glove box cavity. Tilt the amplifier assembly to the right, line up each bracket arm to their corresponding mounting position, upper short arm to the 10mm bolt location, and the lower long arm to the 12mm bolt location. Reinstall cabin filter cover and glove box. Returning to the radio cavity, connect the QuickSync harness into the radio and factory harness using the designated connectors. Reinstall radio and trim panel. Section 10. Front speaker installation. Door disassembly. Remove sail panel by disengaging snaps and pulling towards you. Using the panel tool, remove the silver trim from the grab handle. The tool insertion slot is found at the bottom of the trim. Now remove the 2 number 2 Phillips screws securing the grab handle. Use panel tool to remove the cover behind the interior door latch. Remove the number 2 Phillips screw behind the door latch. Use a panel tool to remove the window door lock control panel. Insert tool between the rear edge of the panel and the cloth section of the trim to remove. Disconnect the window door lock control connectors from the panel and reinstall back in place. Use the panel tool to disengage the clips behind the door panel one at a time. Start at the bottom, then the sides, and finish at the top. Use gentle force to remove the door panel. Remove the door latch assembly from the door panel, and disconnect the factory tweeter. Carefully remove the factory tweeter from the door panel by unlocking the 3 prongs securing it in place one at a time. Disconnect the 4-inch speaker connector. Remove the 2 10mm bolts holding the factory 4-inch speaker in place, and remove the speaker. Disconnect factory 6x9 speaker connector. Use a 5/32-inch drill bit to remove the 4 rivets holding the factory 6x9 speaker in place. After drilling, remove rivet debris inside the door cavity. Failure to remove debris may induce noise. Using a rivet tool, mount to OEM Audio Plus 6x9 speaker with supplied rivet fasteners. Reinstall 6x9 speaker connector. Mount the 4-inch OEM Audio Plus speaker by using the 2 10mm bolts and reinstall 4-inch speaker connector. Tweeter installation. Carefully push out the tweeter grill from the rear of the door panel. This is necessary to allow inspection of the tweeter installation. Carefully apply pressure to the tweeter foam gasket and push outwards prior to installation. This will prevent blockage of the tweeter during installation. Insert the OEM Audio Plus tweeter in place and make sure the foam gasket is not causing any blockage. Once clear, reinstall the tweeter grill to the door panel. Reassemble door in reverse order and repeat installation process on the opposite side. Section 11. Subwoofer enclosure installation. In the trunk area, connect subwoofer umbilical cable to OEM Audio Plus sub-enclosure. Slide sub-enclosure into panel cavity until it locks in place. Section 12. Fuse installation. Insert 30A fuse for the 12 gauge power wire, 20A fuse for the 14 gauge power wire. Once complete, connect battery ground, set clock to correct time, and verify radio settings. This concludes the OEM Audio Plus Reference 400 CF installation. Start your engine, turn on your radio, and enjoy.